Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading for April the 4th through the 10th. The way I'm setting this reading up is you'll have 4 separate groups of cards. Group 1 will be career and finance, the second one will be health and home, the third one will be love and romance, and the fourth one will be the general advice and kind of the overall energies of the week. And then at the end I'll pick a oracle card also, just to get an extra little zhuzh of information. If this reading doesn't quite resonate with you, check out the videos to your rising sign and moon sign, because that'll just help you get a bigger picture. Or definitely message me for a personal reading and we can get really in depth with that. Yeah. Now, I've already laid your cards out because I was shuffling and I started making the video and then my computer shut off. So instead of redoing it, I feel really, really good about this reading. I promise you I shuffled and I did all of that, but I just didn't want to redo it because I feel a lot from these cards. So I didn't want to reshuffle and do all that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Yes. So for your career and finance, we have the 3 of fire and omens, which is a major arcana card. And in the traditional tarot, this represents the tower. Okay, so immediately right off the bat, I'm getting the feeling that there's some conflict in the workplace. Feeling like there's some bickering, or people are butting heads, people are trying to portray themselves as better than other people, and it's just making everything fall apart. Maybe you're having to deal with a boss who is not very fair, or is just really high and mighty and takes advantage of his authority. Or maybe you're having the feeling like everything's about to fall apart. So pay attention to the little details. Pay attention to the things that you could do to prevent that from happening. If that's the case, this could also be somebody who's fed up with their job and feels like they're not getting the recognition that they deserve. This could be somebody who's contemplating leaving their job. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm getting on that for right now. Someone who's contemplating leaving. Yeah, I'm just feeling like there's some catty, maybe stuff going on at work. People aren't really working together. There could be, in some situations, there could literally be a business that's getting ready to fall apart. Yeah. This could also be somebody who gained something out of maybe a business went under, but you actually came out on top because of it, or something like that. Yeah, I'm just getting the vibe that somebody came out on top of something after something fell apart. But also I'm definitely feeling somebody getting ready to maybe want to walk away from their job. They're feeling like they could be doing something better. They're feeling like they're not being valued enough. I'm also feeling just that cattiness and bickering going on in the workplace. If you're an employee, make sure that your employers, or if you're an employer, make sure that your employees are feeling appreciated. That's really important. Your employees are definitely, the backbone of your company. Without a good team, what do you really have? You know, you're not going to have the best business if you don't have a good team. Yeah, just pay attention to those warning signs and do what you can to prevent things from falling apart if that's what you feel like you want to do. Okay. For home and health, we have transformation and the crone of earth. And this is pretty clear, quick and clear, but this is somebody who, it could pertain to home life, family life, or your health, but somebody who's been plagued with something for a long time, and they're finally ready to just, like, stop letting it bother them, and they're, you know, like somebody maybe who's been dealing with pain for a long time, and it's like debilitating pain. It's like caused them to not be able to live their life, you know, as full as they wanted to. But now they finally have reached the point where they're like, fuck this, I'm not gonna let, you know, my sickness or my pain or whatever this is debilitate me any longer. And transform. This could be a healing too. This could be somebody finally being healed of something. As far as like home life goes, I feel like this is a family unit or a household unit, some sort of household unit. You know, if you don't live with your family, and just some sort of thing going on in the house, or maybe it is you don't live with your family, but it still has to do with your family. Maybe you've been through a lot with your family, and you're finally not letting it hold you back anymore. You're finally not letting your family. Some people, you know, differ from the values that they were raised under, and maybe finally you're branching off from that, and you're spreading your wings, so to speak, and living your true life, and not the life that your family has kind of said you should live. You're kind of starting to want to emerge as an individual. But also this could be just like a family that has gone through a lot, and they're transforming together, and they can now, you know, they're not going to let their hardships that they've been through together hold them back any longer, or anything. They're kind of a family that can take it all now. They've been through the hardest times, whatever that, you know, is. The situation could differ for everybody, but they've been through some really hard times, and it's made them really, really strong. But yeah, this is just not letting the things that have happened to you in the past hold you back any longer. You're just getting rid of it, and you're moving on for the better, okay, love and romance. We have the Six of Water and the Circle. So I'm getting like a million different things with this one. Yeah, so, and for a general reading, I don't want to get like super duper specific, because I don't want, you know, somebody who is just hearing what I'm saying to like think that that's going on in their life when it really might not be. Really make sure you're feeling what really resonates with you, and you're not just taking every word that I say and thinking that it automatically applies to you, because I'm reading for lots and lots of different people. The cards are coming up with lots of different messages. But one of, I don't even know where to start. Okay, this could be a distraction card. Like, you could have somebody that you're dating or that you're seeing, you know, some sort of a relationship with somebody that is like showering you with gifts, or they're doing all this stuff, like, and you feel like they're trying to distract you from something. Like, I'm not really feeling anything that's super sinister, but like maybe they just like missed, you know, your anniversary or something, so they're trying to make up for it, or they you know, have been working a lot, so they're just trying to make up for it. Like somebody who's showering you with gifts, trying to make up for something, or trying to distract you from something. That's one way I'm reading it. Another way I'm reading it, but you're protected, so I'm not really seeing that it's like super sinister. I mean, I don't know. definitely, if you need a love life reading, because I'm getting so much for these cards, message me and we can do a love life reading, because this seems like it would be really fun. But this is also, you know, I mean, somebody could just be showering you with gifts because you've, like, it's kind of like I'm feeling a relationship just moved into that domesticated stage. Like maybe you just moved in with your partner, or you've been living with them for a while, but things are finally starting to feel, you're starting to get into the groove a little bit. I'm also feeling that this also could be falling in love with your passions, falling in love with your art, falling in love with music, things that you find beautiful. This is also somebody who might have a lot of options. You might have a lot of different people trying to get your attention, and you might just be kind of sitting there and like loving it and accepting it. And if that is what's going on, you go and you get you some, honey, because that is great. Just make sure you're not, you know, fucking a bunch of people over and hurting a bunch of feelings and being a little player. But if you're being honest and you're just doing what you want, then you go. Yeah, you got a lot of people who might be interested in you. That's definitely what I'm getting. Yeah, I'm getting a lot. So message me if you have some crazy love life stuff going on, and I would love to do a reading about that for you. Okay, so for your final cards, we have Ostara, which has been coming up a lot, holiday that we just celebrated in the pagan community, very similar to Easter. If you're interested in stuff like that, definitely do some research. And I think the similarities might boggle your mind a little bit. But and then we have the 5 of air. So okay, the message that I'm just getting right off the bat with these 2 cards is somebody who is being very methodical about how they're going to move forward. They're being methodical in the steps that they're taking. They are yeah, and if you aren't already being methodical and taking the time to calm down and really analyze your moves, make sure that you're doing that this week. Really be methodical about your plans. Slow down a little bit. Look at things, you know, from the sidelines for a second before you just kind of barge on it, and really plan what you're going to do, and take in all the different details. Don't overwhelm yourself with details though, okay? But don't overlook something that could be, just make sure that nothing important gets overlooked. This is also, I'm getting a vibe of somebody who's like out in the garden, like watering their garden, and there's like a group of people or a couple people behind them, maybe some kids, or like, I don't know, people behind this person who's like going about their daily business in La La Land, like happy, humming, whatever, watering their plants, and she's overhearing their conversation, and they're talking about something that she's just like, you guys are just now figuring this out, or oh, you guys are just so juvenile or so naive. And like, she's not being rude about it, she's laughing in her own mind. She just thinks it's like cute and funny. So I'm getting kind of a vibe of something like that also, but it's mostly just being somebody who's carefully planning their next steps and their next moves. But it's also, I don't know, it's just having a softer energy. It's having that energy of that lady I was just describing watering her plants. Like somebody who is just like, you guys, you know, like that kind of feeling. But it's not like in your face or harsh. It's more loving and endearing, you know. Yeah. All right. We'll end there, and I will go ahead and draw a oracle card. See what other information we're getting. Okay, normally I don't do that, but I was just, sometimes I just pick cards without really feeling like, without vibing it out. And you get a feeling that it's not right. Doesn't happen often, but. Okay. Oh! Ostara, fertility. That's interesting because we've got Ostara here. So I think it is actually taking on that energy, taking on that, okay, well, let me just read the card first. It says, it's a perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. So giving birth to new conditions has to do with this transformation card. Starting new projects, access new ideas, give birth to new conditions. Giving birth to new conditions, you could have to reevaluate the conditions of your work environment. Maybe you need to bring some new ideas into the work environment to counteract, some of the negative stuff that's going on, if there is anything, going on like that. But I'm feeling like an overall feeling of a fresh perspective, being lighthearted about things. Like you've been through a lot, so you kind of have the wisdom to know that you can be lighthearted about some of this stuff. You can take the time to, if you have a lot of suitors coming at you, you're kind of like, you're not being mean to them about it. You're not like, oh, yeah, of course I have suitors. You're just enjoying it. You're just like basking in this like beautiful new light. Oh yeah, we talked about the light at the end of the tunnel. Was it in this reading that I was talking about with this seeing, or like it's like being in a tunnel, a really long tunnel, and you've been going through it and it was really dark, and even though you've been moving forward, it was still kind of dark, so you kind of slowed your footsteps down a little bit, but then you started seeing that little glimpse of the light at the end of the tunnel. So you've been planning out your steps carefully on how you're going to get there, because you're still kind of moving through the dark, but you see that light, so you have to be careful with your steps, towards getting there. But now that you're getting closer to that light, you're kind of taking on that feeling, that lighter energy, and you're just like, the closer you get, the more you're opening up to it, and the more you're enjoying it, and like letting all of that light come in to transform you. Yeah. Okay. So that's all I'm getting for this reading for this week. I feel like I've talked so much. I'm going to try next week to get these a little bit shorter. But yeah, message me with feedback. Let me know if anything really stood out or anything like that. I want to try to keep the communication lines open, so don't be scared to message me about anything. Otherwise, stay tuned for next week, and I hope that you got something that you can take with you out of this reading. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.